ccsradio.com. He is Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl joining us here this morning on it's a Tuesday in March, and we've got beautiful weather outside right now, and the weather's it's going to be March for us very shortly, and I'm sure that will affect some of the things that will be happening in town, and police will be asked to handle some of those things. Our conversation with Chief Schawl brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Yesterday, Chief IACT put out a news release letting folks know that they're prepared for spring celebrations and anything else that will be happening around town. I know that you have a special emphasis on preparedness this time of the year, too.
We do. Good morning. IAC did put out a statement, and, as always, law enforcement all across the county, we're well aware that March and spring's bringing some extra crowds and excitement to the area, and we're always planning and preparing. But that stakeholder letter is the first step in what's going to be a lot of communications that come out from both police and community stakeholders regarding safety around the anticipated weekends of increased activity, and we just need everybody to be safe. We need everybody who's engaging in those activities to be safe, and we need everybody who is using our town, living in our town, to be safe as well. And those two things aren't mutually exclusive. It just takes us all moving in the same direction, and I believe that we're doing a really good job at least getting messaging out as to what we need from everyone.
Well, that messaging has to include certainly people are well aware of what happened here last fall, and maybe folks are a little bit extra on edge because of it. But really, if we just think about it a little bit, if we determine that we're going to be calm and everybody else does as well, we ought to be able to get through this okay. But there are challenges.
Yeah, there are definitely challenges, and I will say that one thing I wish I could provide and I can't is a guarantee against tragedy or strife. If I could guarantee that for our Indiana community, I would at really any cost, but I can't, and none of us can. But what we can do is be as prepared as possible. We're not actively seeking for these large gatherings to occur, especially not the ones that are unplanned and perhaps less well organized. But we certainly understand that when they do occur, there's a public safety risk involved, and we've seen the worst of the worst in the fall. And we want to make sure that we're always working towards minimizing risk and opportunities for violence and destruction as much as possible. And with the state police, with IEP police, with the sheriff's department, with the DA's office, these are all great organizations who come together for these weekends. And so we're always learning. We're always moving forward. We're always working together. We're always trying to find that best path. And it's a multifaceted approach. We have to be public with engagement of the community, and then we have to be proactive and reactive in our enforcement efforts. We have to understand where problem areas are, and we have to put together strategies to be present in those areas. And then we can't forget that we have an entire county and community that's going about other business, and so services can't be any less there. So when we talk about strategy, when we talk about planning, when we talk about public safety, it's a robust effort. It's never just one thing. It can't be, because the second that you focus on just one thing, something else happens, and you can't be short-sighted. We can't afford it.
IUP will be on spring break next week, which means a bunch of students who stay in off-campus housing will be away for a week, and certainly folks in those neighborhoods need to be watchful, because there are people who will take advantage of that situation and maybe try a window or a door, see if they can get in, and your calls probably go up a little bit during that time, and I guess the advisory is for folks not to try to handle things themselves, but to pick up the phone and dial 911.
Well, that's for sure. We do see there are people out there that are intent on hurting other people, and those are the folks that we need to focus our attention on. But everybody, to your point, everybody has a role in that. We're asking that if you leave, that you lock your doors, you lock your windows, you take valuables that are truly valuable to you, that are movable with you. That you watch out and be good neighbors, that you're good neighbors if you have students in your neighborhood and you see that they're gone for spring break and you see something strange or suspicious at their house, call 911. We don't want you taking action into your own hands, but we want you to take action. Mm-hmm. And if you see something suspicious, report it, get packages off porches. We haven't been immune and recently, with thefts from vehicles. And I will tell you that thefts from vehicles, although we are constantly seeking those that do this. They're crimes of opportunity, and the opportunity is because someone has left their doors unlocked and valuables inside. So, in working together, we ask that everybody be perhaps more conscious as weather breaks and it's more palatable to be outside in the overnight hours, that you're locking your cars, that you're taking your valuables inside, or at least keeping them out of view, because it doesn't take more than a few seconds to walk past a car door and try its handle. And, we want to prevent as much as we can. We can investigate it. We can arrest people for it. But I think I've always thought, and I know this to be a fact, that our best opportunity in Indiana is to prevent.
There are certain times when certain crimes seem to raise their heads, and that's one of them lately, a rash of vehicle break-ins. You mentioned folks taking things off of people's porches. That seems to be all year long now. Those things that happen cyclically, especially when the weather gets nicer, are things that you come to expect and anticipate. But especially for folks who, I'm surprised, keep guns in their cars and then don't lock the doors. That can lead to real tragedy.
Well, it certainly can, and there's probably we probably would need more time than this segment to talk about everything that surrounds that. I will say that my experience with that happening is that it's not necessarily someone thinking, "Hey, I have a gun in my car and I'm just not going to lock the doors." You get out of your car, you just
slips the mind.
You lose awareness of what's inside the car. You think you've locked it and you haven't. Someone doesn't have a door shut when you press the lock button, and so. But yeah, I mean, we have to be responsible gun owners. We have to be responsible when we travel with firearms, and really with any type of a weapon or a self-defense mechanism in a car, because those things can easily be turned against a good person. And if you're going to break into a car, my point would be that you're not thinking in a way that probably someone upright thinks. So there is just an unavoidable opportunity for violence or chaos to ensue from something that's seemingly innocent, but it's a momentary lapse and somebody gets really hurt. And the less illegal guns we have in the community, the better I think we'll be.
Yeah. A big event coming, the St. Patrick's Day Parade is coming up in another week, and folks will be out celebrating. I know that for police, getting out and watching parade crowds is always great fun. Keep your purses and your pockets secure, and enjoy the parade, right?
That's right. Well, the parades are fun. I will say that. In Indiana, Borough does it well, exceptionally well. But special event planning is an enormous responsibility, and no one is standing there. Even if it seems like we're standing there, no one's just standing there. Police officers, no matter what post you're on, you have a responsibility. There are public safety focuses at special event gatherings. I've said this every time I think I've been on the radio talking about special events, but the larger the gathering, the more propensity there is for something negative to happen. And so we want to be the eyes and the ears of the event for sure. We want to make sure traffic is, away from the event, and that it's a safe environment. But again, it goes right back to, if you see something, say something. We have a robust police effort here in Indiana, but as much as we want to be everywhere, we can't be everywhere. So we need to be directed to things that look suspicious. If you feel uneasy, there's probably a reason why you feel uneasy. We need to know about that. Mm-hmm. We want to plug in for everybody in best ways possible. These have been a great 2 days in Indiana weather-wise.
Sure.
And just driving around town, you don't need to look very far to know that people enjoy being outside in this community. But when we get outside, now we're seeing things that we didn't see before. Crowds are getting larger than they were before. Activity appears, is far more vibrant, but it's, I think when we're looking around, we're hearing loud music and we're seeing a large number of people in yards, we get a sense of, something, negative may happen. And so we just want to be plugged in for everybody.
On alert.
That's it, on alert all the time, omnipresent, and with a sound strategy and planning. That's the key.
Hey, it was White Township where the counterfeit bills were passed the other day, but certainly that's right next door to Indiana Borough, and folks can make their way downtown with those fake bills too. And then there was also from state police a theft ring, it appeared, that came up yesterday with some adult females. That's another case where folks need to be extra vigilant. Merchants need to be looking at the money and not just grabbing it and throwing it in the register. Maybe that little pen that they use can help to mark the bill and help to determine its authenticity. But, it's everybody, you're on the alert. We all need to be too.
Yeah, that's right. None of us are immune, and there's no hard and fast boundary between Indiana Borough and White Township. So the things that negatively impact White Township are certainly negatively impacting Indiana Borough, and vice versa. Sadly, or sometimes we need to hear about these things, and then everyone takes a more concerted effort. But be vigilant. Be vigilant. All business owners, our business owners do a really great job, and our investigators do a great job. And I'm confident that we'll get those solved, or the state police will get those solved in White Township. That's not so much the issue. But again, it's how can we prevent these things from happening? What plan can we put in place to harden targets, to make us less susceptible? And we can also do a good job in that.
Yeah, guys rolling up the bicycle chains.
I hope so. It's it's about that time. You will see an increased presence of the Indiana Police Department outside of vehicles as the weather breaks and as more folks get downtown. And we want that to be a good thing, not a negative thing. So popping into businesses, seeing how we can plug in, again, proactively, because that's really where we can make a difference.
Yeah. And remember that number, 911.
That's right.
Very good. Chief, thanks.
Thank you.
It's good to have you back with us. It's Indiana in the Morning, and it's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. We're about 2.5 minutes away from the top of the hour. Fox News comes your way then. We follow that with news from our WCCS newsroom with Josh Whittison on this Tuesday morning.
Oh, come on, little dollar. You can do it. Shucks. Come on, little guy. Roll over. Roll over.
What you doing there?
Trying to get this here dollar bill to roll over, stubborn thing. When I left my job down at the distillery, they told me I'm going to have to do a rollover with my retirement money. And this darn tootin' thing just won't move.
Hi, this is Brad Peterson, Managing Director of InFirst